Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be an updated version of what to expect during Red Phase of Army BCT. Alright, if this is your first time here, I'm Darin. Welcome to my channel. I did want to mention that I have done a Red Phase video in the past. It's been about 4 years since I posted it, and I know things do change quite a bit. It's the most viewed video on my channel right now, so I figured that since you guys liked it so much, I'd do an updated version. Now, obviously, I haven't gone through basic training recently, but I did have a female reach out to me who's willing to share her experience during Red Phase with you guys. She did ask me to remain anonymous, so I will not be mentioning her name during this video. I do want to add, if you are interested in sharing your military experience, please feel free to reach out to me. I'll leave my email in the description box below. It doesn't matter what your rank is, what your job is, or where you're stationed. We can definitely make something work. I know that I do enjoy hearing other people's experience in the military, and I think everyone could benefit from it as well. With that being said, let's go ahead and get to the video. Alright, I was in contact with this girl through email, so I will be reading off my laptop. I think I sent her about 10 questions. If I feel like it's something worth talking about, I will share my experience as well. If it's something that doesn't really need an explanation, then I'll just move on to the next question. Alright, so the first question is, where did you go to basic training? And hers says Fort Sill, Oklahoma. We all know that's Fort Chill, by the way. I think this question is very important because your experience at BCT is going to depend a lot on where you are at. So she went to Fort Chill, I went to Fort Leonard Wood, aka Fort Lost in the Woods. I'm not going to name all the basic training sites. I believe there's 4 of them. If you want, you can look them up. I already just gave you 2 of them. Question number 2, can you explain what Red Phase is of BCT? From my experience, Red Phase was basically used to break people down physically, mentally, and emotionally. I felt like it was used as a time for the drill sergeants to establish their authority. It also put all trainees on a level playing field. We were all starting from 0. Perfectly said. Did you feel like quitting at any point during Red Phase? No, I think if you mentally prepare yourself and realize that it will eventually end, then you can make it through. That's a good answer. I will say I didn't ever feel like quitting, but there were times that I laid in bed at night and I'm like, really? What the hell did you get yourself into? You're an idiot. And I often put myself in these situations, so yeah, I remember thinking like I was an idiot. I promise. I'm really happy that I decided to join the military. It's done a lot of great things for me. So, next question is, what was the worst part about Red Phase? She said, for me, the worst part about Red Phase and basic in general was the first couple of days when we had to do shower drills. I felt like they were herding cattle. You were basically lined up, moved along through the shower about 2 to 3 minutes, and then had to brush your teeth and be done by the time you got to the last sink, while being yelled at to move along. I felt like my basic training was a little unorganized as well because there were new leadership transitioning in soon after we started. A frustrating part was not really knowing or grasping everything that was being thrown at us in a short amount of time and trying to pay attention with very little sleep. So I will say that I don't think that, you know, everyone's gonna have their own opinion. I don't think that it was just her company that was unorganized. I think mine was very unorganized too. But I feel like that's what they want in the beginning. Like when you get there, they want you to feel confused as hell. So you do the wrong thing and they can yell at you. You know what I mean? Like, if you don't get yelled at basic training, then congratulations. Like, you should win $1 billion because everyone's gonna get yelled at and it's not that big of a deal, which is actually quite nice because if anyone yells at me now, like, you know, I'm an x-ray tech and if I'm in the OR and a doctor yells at me, I'm just kind of like, okay, bro, like, I'm not really fazed by it. I don't know if that's a bad thing. But anyway, what I'm saying is it's gonna be chaotic. It's very frustrating in the beginning when you're trying to, okay, how are we going to explain this? It's like getting thrown into like a foreign country and you don't know what the hell to do or what to say to anyone. It's like going to a foreign country by yourself with a whole bunch of other people that don't know what the hell they're doing either. Oh, wait. Before we move on to the next question, quick story. So yeah, red phase is obviously when they're strictest, and I remember getting yelled at specifically actually because we were out pulling weeds one day and I'm highly allergic, I guess. My face got really puffy, my nose was really itchy, and I broke out in hives all over my body. So I decided to jump into the shower, okay? When we got back to the bay, which the bay is like a big room filled with like 60 beds. And usually shower time is like 8 o'clock at night and you get 30 minutes to shower like 60 girls. It's a lot of fun. I felt like itchy, right? So I got in the shower and I was just naked, rubbing myself down obviously with some soap, and the drill sergeant walks in and just starts ripping me a new one. So yeah, that's one of the times I got yelled at. Oh, that's actually the next question. Do you remember getting yelled at as an individual? Explain. Okay, so her response was, the only time I remember getting yelled at individually was in the DFAC, which is also the cafeteria, from a drill sergeant from a different battery. Basically from a different group, company. I don't know if you guys know all the terms. It's easy to get singled out because there are so many drill sergeants everywhere watching everything. I didn't have my thumbs to my chest or something like that when I was carrying my water cup. So this is kind of funny. During basic training, I don't remember if you have to do this in blue phase, but during red and white phase, most definitely, when you get your drink, you have to hold it, I think you have to hold it with 2 hands. I don't remember if your thumbs are, yeah, I think your thumbs are here. I think you hold it like this. So you have to hold your cup up like this while you're walking, and you have to like look straight ahead. So if you like hold it with 1 hand, then you'll get yelled at, which I think that's what she's talking about there. All right, how long did red phase last? She said, I think it was about 3 weeks, which is about right. Usually red phase is 3 weeks, white phase is 3 weeks, and blue phase is 3 weeks. How often did you pull ACG? ACG is also known as night guard. It's basically, how do I explain this? You basically wake up in the middle of the night for a certain amount of time and you guard like a door, or you guard whatever you're supposed to be guarding, if that makes any sense. If you want to know more about it, just look it up on the internet because I don't really know how to explain it. But her response was, we didn't have many females in our battery, so it felt like we were pulling ACG at least once a week. When we would get in trouble or the bay wasn't clean enough, the bay, like I mentioned before, is the room. When we would get in trouble or the bay wasn't clean enough, they would make more than 2 people pull ACG, so there were a few times when it was at least twice a week. Okay. That's actually very lenient. Once a week or twice a week, that sounds great, because when I was at BCT, I was pulling ACG every other day. I don't know who was making the schedule or what was going on, but I was literally waking up every other night, and I think the time was like for an hour at a time. So, you know, that doesn't sound that terrible, but when you have to wake up from like 1 to 2 in the morning and you're barely getting any sleep as it is, oh my god, it's terrible. How far did you get into BCT when you realized this isn't that bad? Her response was, I never thought it was too bad just because I knew it was going to end. I tried not to get too comfortable though, because just when you start to feel like there was light at the end of the tunnel, the drill sergeants would remind you that you still pretty much belong to them, which is true. Like if you say you're in blue phased and the drill sergeants get a little bit more relaxed, the second that people start acting up in your company or start losing their military bearing is when they'll move you down a phase or just rip you a new one. Next question is, what's the major difference between red, white, and blue phase? She said, for me, I enjoyed red phase better than any other phases. I think because at the beginning, everyone's a little bit more disciplined. As time went on and people got more comfortable, we would get into more trouble, it seemed, for losing our military bearing. I'm gonna have to disagree with that one. I think it's a very good answer, and I could totally see how someone would like red phase more because it's more disciplined, but I would have to say definitely blue phase was much better. I don't like feeling lost. I don't like not knowing what's going on. I started to get the hang of things. Like I said, you know, foreign country thing, I felt like I started to like learn the language and like learn the culture, like what was expected of me. So that's what I like. So that's why I liked blue phase the most. Next question is, how many girls were in your bay? aka your room. She said maybe 50 to 60 females. Can you imagine what that's like, being in a room with 50 to 60 females? I mean, it's hard enough being in a room with 3 females. Imagine 50 to 60. What is the battle buddy system? Ugh! God, I hate the battle buddy system. The battle buddy system is annoying. I completely agree. She said it's basically a way to try to keep everyone accounted for and to ensure that you're never alone in case something should go wrong. It's just basically a way to keep everyone safe. There's supposed to be another female with you at all times, or if you're a male, there's supposed to be another male at all times with you. So that means if you go to the bathroom, you're never going to be alone. Basically, you're going to be near people of the same sex no matter what for at least 10 weeks straight. All right, what was the best part about Red Phase? She said the best part for me was just actually starting and following through with something I had set out to do. At the beginning of Red Phase is kind of when I realized, well, there's no turning back now. During this time, we were also able to hear from people in our platoon about why they joined the Army, and I liked that. We were all coming from different places and had different reasons, but we were all going through the same things together. I totally agree with that. Definitely. I remember doing that too. Yeah, it's just nice knowing that although everyone comes from different backgrounds, different cultures, different, you know, everyone's there for different reasons, but everyone's going through the same thing. And I definitely felt like that was like one of the very few times that everyone in the room bonded. And the last and final question is, if you had to give advice for BCT in one sentence, what would it be? She said, don't be afraid of messing up. Just try your best at everything and don't give up. I agree, don't give up. If this is something you really wanted and you went as far as to go through MEPS, talk to a recruiter, and actually shipped out to BCT, don't give up, just stick with it. There are people that decided to give up while at basic training and they didn't leave there until after we graduated. So you're gonna make it out of there sooner if you just stick with it. You know, you're gonna get yelled at and you're not the only one getting yelled at. So just know you're gonna make it through. Everything will be okay. That wasn't one sentence, by the way. I was just kind of like going off what she said. Alright guys, I hope you found today's video very helpful for those of you that are trying to join the military and don't know what to expect when going to BCT. If this is your first time here, don't forget to hit subscribe. I do put out a new vlog every week. If you do enjoy seeing my military content, please let me know in the comments. I'm very responsive and I love going off of what you guys enjoy watching. If you did find this video helpful, please be sure to give it a thumbs up, and I'll catch you guys on next week's vlog.